Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where today we're going to dive into a report that is packed with enough legal jargon to make your head spin. But we'll untangle it all to see what is really going on behind the scenes. You might want to grab a drink because this one gets a little interesting. Before we dive in, if you're all about cutting through the corporate fog and getting to the actual story, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hey, we've got a fantastic community over on our Discord server, linked in the description below, where we break down these filings and discuss them more. So join us there. So what we have here is a Form 8K filing, which is essentially a report for big, important events happening at a company that aren't part of their regular financial reporting cycle. Think of it as a special bulletin from the company to the investors, letting them know about something significant. This particular filing comes from Ferrellgas Partners LP and a few of its affiliated companies. Now, Ferrellgas is a major player in the propane industry, delivering it to homes and businesses across the country. They're a pretty established name, so any unusual filing like this definitely catches our attention. What is really grabbing our eye is a piece of information buried in the filing about a teleconference. It seems the company is getting ready to discuss their financial results. This tells us they're going to hold a conference call to talk about how they did in their fourth fiscal quarter, and for the whole fiscal year, which ended on the 31st of July, 2025. These calls are where companies often give us the inside scoop on their performance, their plans, and sometimes even hint at future challenges or opportunities. It is scheduled for 8 a.m. Central Time, or 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Interestingly, they're also letting investors submit questions beforehand through their investor relations email. This can be a good sign, showing they're trying to be transparent, or it could be a way to control the narrative and get ahead of tough questions. We usually see this kind of pre-submission when companies anticipate a lot of investor interest or concern about their results. Now, while this filing doesn't contain the detailed financial statements that we often see in a 10Q or 10K, it does point us to a very important upcoming event where those numbers will be discussed. The fact that they're reholding this teleconference and allowing pre-submitted questions suggests that the results they're about to release are, at the very least, noteworthy. Let's think about what this means for Ferrellgas. Propane companies like Ferrellgas are sensitive to a lot of factors. Weather patterns obviously play a huge role because heating demand is a major driver of sales. The price of natural gas and crude oil also directly impacts the cost of propane, which can squeeze profit margins if they can pass those costs on to customers. And of course, competition is always a factor, especially with alternative energy sources becoming more prevalent. The fact that they're having this call specifically to discuss the fourth quarter and the full year ending the 31st of July 2025 means we'll be looking for insights into how they navigated whatever the past year threw at them. Did they manage their costs effectively? Did they see strong demand, perhaps due to a colder winter or increased industrial use? And how are they positioning themselves for the next fiscal year? The mention of an interactive data file, or XBRL, is pretty standard for SEC filings these days. It's a way for companies to tag their financial data so it can be easily searched and analyzed by investors and regulators. Think of it as making the numbers machine, readable, which is good for transparency in the long run, even if it makes the filings look a bit more technical. Looking at the signatures section, we see Tamria Aza-Tucher signing off as Chief Executive Officer and President for several of the Ferrellgas entities. This presence as the key executive involved in the filing across these different legal entities is quite common for holding companies and their subsidiaries. It reinforces that the leadership is directly overseeing and signing off on these disclosures. So, what is the big story here? Well, it is not a story of immediate financial results in this filing, but rather a prelude to one. This 8K is a signal flare for an upcoming discussion about the company's financial health over the last year. The emphasis on the teleconference and pre-submitted questions suggests the company anticipates significant investor interest in their performance. It is what we call forward-looking disclosure, preparing the market for a deep dive into their numbers and strategy. Now, let us consider the broader context for Ferrellgas. The energy sector is constantly evolving. Companies that rely on traditional fuels like propane are under pressure to adapt. We're seeing a push towards cleaner energy sources, and while propane is often seen as a cleaner alternative to some other fossil fuels, it is still a part of the fossil fuel landscape. Therefore, understanding how Ferrellgas plans to navigate this transition, manage operational efficiencies, and maintain profitability in what could be a challenging market will be crucial. We'll be paying close attention to the upcoming teleconference to see what they reveal about their financial performance. Are they reporting growth? Are they facing headwinds? How are they managing debt and expenses? These are the questions that will determine the company's trajectory. Looking at this filing now, my take is that it is less about new disclosures and more about setting the stage for future disclosures. It is an announcement of an announcement, if you will. The fact that they so explicit about the teleconference and the Q&A process indicates they expect investors to have a lot to discuss regarding their fiscal year results. It is a sign that the numbers being presented soon are likely to be significant, whether good or bad. The notable risk here is how well they can adapt to the changing energy landscape and how effectively they communicate their strategy to investors. The opportunities for a company like Ferrellgas lie in leveraging their existing infrastructure, potentially expanding into new services related to energy delivery or storage, and continuing to focus on operational excellence to drive efficiency. It is telling us pay attention, an important financial update is coming soon. What we need to do now is wait for that teleconference and the detailed financial reports to really understand the substance of Ferrellgas' performance and future outlook. Alright, that is our breakdown of this particular filing from Ferrellgas. What are your thoughts on what this signals for the company's upcoming results? Do you think they re-in for a strong year or facing challenges? Let us know all your insights in the comments below. We love hearing your perspectives, and if you found this analysis helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out our Discord community for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and we see you in the next one.